What up? Happy Thursday. JB. Intro's way too long. Yeah. That was just an old video I made a long time ago. That was my first YouTube video. Believe it or not. What's up, Rob? What's up, Dan? What's up, Ron? JB, how you doing, feller? Just chilling again on Thursday night. Getting ready for Friday, baby. Outside messing with the truck. Heck yeah. What's up, Technician Troy? How you doing, bud? Thanks for stopping by. How you doing? Just hanging out, doing the Thursday thing. Me and my allergies, you know. What else is new? I'll try out your new DA sander, huh? Nice. What's up, Turbo Tom? JB's still working? Yeah. Just loaded up an engine and just heading to the machine shop. Good. That's always fun times. You know you're going to have something nice and clean come back. I got my drive shaft down. I need to send it to the driveline shop tomorrow. Got to work on get my fan hooked up and my wiring stuff. Probably work on the exhaust a little bit. Try and get that one side up where it hangs down slow. Got AS on one ear and Jason in the other. Good Lord, Tom. He's asking for it, isn't he? Hey, Twisted Mopar. How you doing, man? Yeah, we just got no beer for Dan tonight, huh? Yeah, go get working on that truck. I'm gonna try and work on them slacker bars this weekend. I found the piece of metal I was using when I was cleaning up earlier. What's up, Brian and Dust Devil? How you doing, buddy? Just hanging out. I'm tired. Been a long week as usual. Been working on weird stuff this week. I did get the steering linkage put on my truck and halfway did the alignment. I gotta set the caster on it and get that. It's got some weird pulling issues, but it's so hard to do an alignment on that big thing anyway. But it's close. I gotta hook it up one more time and run the whole spiel again. One-eyed cat's fuel cell is 92%. Nice. That's good. Good. I think I got my return line hooked up to the wrong port on my fuel tank because if it only has a couple gallons of fuel in it, it's like the fuel pump's picking up air. I think it's aerating the fuel where I've got the return. I think I need to move it to a different port. The one I hooked it up to has a tube that runs down, but it runs right at the pickup, and I think it's sloshing everything around in there, making a bunch of air bubbles. It's weird. But I also have the problem where the relay that came with my other harness is goofed up, so I got this new guy I gotta get hooked up. Sitting here in the bathroom stall as usual. That sucks. Been bumming all day, yeah. Toilet Wi-Fi, yeah. A freaking Wi-Fi toilet probably in one of these days. Probably play movies on the seat for you when you just look down there and Yeah, No Names is getting close. We're down to only a few weekends. Man, I got a lot to do. I got to quit lollygagging. Still drying the clear coat. Custom jobber work there. Nice. Heck yeah. I'm sure it'll be nice when you guys get it done. Have a good night, JB. Go take care of your stuff, brother. Yeah, you definitely don't want to drop in the toilet. That would be a no-no. Noni noni. Oh, yeah, I was working on a Plymouth Prowler and a Pontiac Solstice this week. Man, you want to talk about two weirdo cars you can't find parts for. It was funny. The cooling fan wasn't blowing on this Pontiac, and I can't find a control unit. It has a control unit on the fan, like a control unit on your blower motor on your heater. And I ordered a Dorman one. It's no good. Went from no fans to all the fans. And it had 6 weeks to be heading to Lambert's. That's right. Already eating. That's right. It had to be what, 7:30 there, 6:30. I can't remember what the time zone. I think it's only an hour, but behind us. But come to find out that blower that engine cooling fan relay control unit deal is the same one they use on a Crown Vic. So ordered one for a Crown Vic. I didn't get it yet. See if it works. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely turn away from the receiving area of that porta john for sure. Yeah, 7:30. Got you. Oh yeah, you're in the same time zone, aren't you? So yeah, it's only an hour. Yeah, we'll be eating by then. Trees, porta potty. Yeah, no. Yeah, I lost some glasses in the toilet myself before. My brother did that at my house years ago. Oh, yeah. There we go. Are you there? There you go. What's
How's it
happening,
going?
John? Good,
How
man. How you
is it?
doing?
I gotta
Good.
say, my biggest motivation to jump in here is I see Brian in the chat, and I just wanted him to see this.
Yeah, yeah. I was just discussing that. I'm like, man, it's getting down to the nitty gritty, man, for
It
sure.
is. It is. It's getting time.
Yeah.
The checkbook is screaming because the
Yeah. Oh,
money's finally going out now.
I bet that sucker's on fire right now,
Oh
isn't
yeah. Oh yeah.
it? The plastic's melting and the checkbooks are burning.
Yes, it is.
Did you have to get all your water barrels and all that stuff,
All
reserved or
that
whatever?
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they don't even keep all of those. They don't keep them even in town. So
Okay.
we got 17 traffic control cones that stay there. They're full of sand,
Uh huh.
and we can use those to track. But the water barriers, 84 of them. They don't keep 84 of those in Sykeston.
Right.
We're everywhere from Cape Girardeau to Sykeston to the whole area,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Illinois and everything. What they do is they put out a note for them early so that when they come off the job sites everywhere, they can all make their way over to Sykeston.
Okay. So they just kind of
Just one
run a route, grabbing them and coming through. Yeah.
one of the many processes.
Yeah, that's got to be a difficult deal right there, especially trying to get somebody local, that you're not familiar with, to do
Well,
it.
we worked with Roadrunner last year, and they were great, but it's a big job rounding those things up. Who would have thought that would have been one of the harder things? But it is.
Yeah, right.
I mean, just plastic tubs you fill with water, and that's one of the harder things to do.
Yeah. Yeah, you had a whole line of them, that's for sure. What's Brian saying? Going to thrash the next 6 weeks, not just on the car. Yeah. Twisted Mopar City's spending money like they're going to quit printing it. Yeah, that's
8 hours on your car and it's done.
Excuse me. Got to get the camper cleaned out. Yeah. Yeah, get the trucks ready to go. That's for sure.
Cleaned up and stopped. The truck's ready to pull. What are you doing? Putting cores in it and running east of the Mississippi? What's that?
Eastbound and down, baby.
Telling you, he's making that sound like quite an operation there.
Yeah, I just redid the steering linkage on the front of my Ram today. I got it halfway lined up. Man, those things are hard to get alignments done on them.
Yes, they are.
It's close. I just got to set it up. The problem is it's so long that I have to have it on the ground, and it's almost off the lift with the back wheels before I can compensate the heads, for the alignment machine. And it's like I got to get in it and drive it real slow and pull it up and get it just right, and then chalk it, and then I can lift it up and fart around with it. But everything was new, so it was so far out, and that's one of those weird ones where you adjust the toe, and then you center and then the other one centers the steering wheel, and the steering wheel's still off a little bit.
Man, I hate that.
It's that old style stuff,
Well, the worst is when people will just set the cross toe and let it go and don't care where the wheel is.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Or they'll have one tie rod run way out and one run way in. Just I can't stand that.
Yeah, I put them all together, had everything centered to start with, and put it all on in one unit. And but the caster was reading off a little bit too, so I'm like, well, I'll just do another caster sweep now that everything's really close, because before it was, holy moly, it was off.
I had to do like rear wheel
3 degrees.
3 on caster I'll take 3 on caster, especially if it's positive, because with power steering, I'll take that.
Yeah. It does this weird thing, especially when I'm towing. It wanders, and then as I would go to correct it, of course the tie rod ends and drag link was wore out. So when I go to correct it, it was like I got here, and then it finally starts moving. And it was like I was just chasing this thing, constantly.
I'll tell you what.
On the way home.
Well, in tech school, one of the teachers there, Jay, said that he would set his with, he would put a 1/2 degree more positive caster in the passenger side. And he said that helped with the fight the road crown.
Yeah.
He said he liked that a lot. And take that for whatever it's worth.
I think that's why, I don't know if you ever noticed some of the Fords, it looks like the right front wheel is out farther than all the other ones. And I think that's what they're doing. They offset the front axle a little bit to get away from that pulling it, It almost fights itself to keep it straight.
Brian says, do drag cars have different front end alignments? Well, in general, yeah. Usually they have real light front ends. They run a lot of caster.
Usually. They run a lot of caster. Yeah. Well, they run a lot of caster, so when the wheel's always straight, like you let go of it, it'll straighten itself out too.
Oh yeah, like on a dragster, you can really see it. Like on a rail car, I mean, they run like 15 degrees or something. You can see it just laid back.
And they do that so they've got more rollout in the beams too, because it makes the track, the area that the beams are breaking. If they stretch it out one way or the other, it makes that distance. It gives them more rollout on the tree.
Well,
but it also holds it straight.
Well, so the rule book for most sanctioning bodies, including NHRA, IHRA, AHRA, all say you have to have wheelbase within 1 inch plus or minus. And what all these guys would do is they would go +1 on one side, -1 on the other, because then you got a full 2 inches more rollout.
Yeah, exactly.
I know a guy who did that. And it was, people say, no, that's crazy. You didn't really do that. It's like, no, you could actually even see it with just a tape measure. You didn't even have to get any more exact than that to see it. Or if you even looked at the car close enough, you could gauge it with your fingers.
Mm-hmm. You look down at it and you can tell that one wheel is definitely ahead of the other one.
You had to be looking for it, though.
Yeah, it's harder on a door car because you can't really. You don't have a good reference point, but a dragster, you can look down like, dang, he's got some rollout in that thing. What's up, Blake? What's up, Wendy? Don? Missed a
I had to
couple of you
do
coming in. Sorry.
rear wheel bearings in the CRV, and I've got adjustable upper control arms in the back
Mm-hmm.
because I tow with it and everything else, and the camber was real funky, so I did that. But
Oh
it
yeah.
also it's got the little camber bolt in the back too.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with those stupid camber bolts is they do both tow and camber. You
Oh
know what I'm
yeah.
talking about? So you
Yep.
move it and you
Yep.
change. I hate that.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got to start over on this thing, put bearings in it, and start over. But
Yeah, I know
the
the
way
ones
I
you're
look
talking
at it, it
about
went
there.
at 345,000 miles. If I get that many more, I'm not complaining.
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not complaining a bit.
That's got the 2.4 in it, doesn't it, with the timing chain,
Yeah.
not the belt? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, those engines.
Oh
That's a
man,
good
I've
engine.
never done anything that engine, but
Mm-hmm.
I did. I could not get the wheel speed sensor out of the hub. It's plastic and it's got a screw that holds it in. The bolt came
Yes.
right out, but that
Yep.
plastic was just fused into that
Yep.
iron. And
Oh,
I'm
I
like,
know.
well,
It's
there's 100%
horrible.
chance I'm going to ruin this trying to get it out. So I just
Mm-hmm.
clipped the wire,
Yep.
and I
Yeah.
figured that was safer
Yeah.
because I would have
Yeah.
destroyed it trying to get it out.
Yeah, they usually do get all, you beat them up pretty much, you know.
Yeah,
4 degrees in T's car, yeah.
man, that bearing was trash, man. You could just cock it back and forth. The ball would fall out between the races. It was so worn out.
Jeez.
It was through the surface hardened part, and when you would load it to one side or the other, you could hear it scrape.
Yeah. Yeah.
This bad.
Cocking the rotor around and everything. What's up,
But,
Lars?
but you couldn't hit the brake pedal and really get this play out of it, which surprised me. Usually, you hit the brake pedal and the caliper clamps that you can get rid of that play. This one, not so much.
Nope. Nope. Yeah. Caliper
This
didn't have enough torque to
probably
overcome it,
not.
huh? Yeah. But yeah, I've seen them that bad where it's like, dang, this thing's rubbing bad.
Yeah.
Have the rotor rubbing on the caliper bracket and the backing plate and everything.
I did one time where the it's on a Ford and you got that steering knuckle and had this big old cartridge bearing in it, and that
Mm-hmm.
thing was so worn out that it was grinding into that knuckle, made
And
like
the
a big
knuckle.
lip in.
Dang.
Yeah, I mean it really. I
Yeah.
mean, you could pull the front of the tire in and out probably an inch and a half,
Jeez.
and that's the top. So at the bottom it was probably only like that, but you could
Right.
rock it at the top that far. Like, how do you not reckon this thing?
Yeah, right. That you talk about a funky alignment. That thing's flipping and flopping and
Oh yeah.
what's up, Mohawk?
Danny Boyd, I've done the left. I'm working on the right. I'll be doing the right tomorrow.
Is that the one where the backing plates get all stuck on the bearing too, and you got to beat the
No,
snot out of them? I
no,
think
this one I could get a
I think
clamshell around it, and I could
yeah.
just leave the backing plate on it.
Oh, okay, good. There's one of them. I think it's the Subarus. Man, you'll get the bearing out of the knuckle, no problem. But those backing plates are just welded to them pretty much. You know,
Yeah, backing plate, another part we never needed.
right? They don't put them on them anymore. That's for sure.
Well,
Big trucks didn't have backing plates. Even you know what I mean. The air brakes when I was working on them, you can look right at it. They're up there. Yeah, needs brakes or it doesn't. You know.
I can't think who was talking about it. Somebody was talking about splines and a spool or something, and I remember one time seeing Warren Johnson's car come out of the water box, and he had gun drilled axles, and you could see all the way through one side of the car out the
Yeah, and
other.
out the other. Yeah, yeah.
Because the splines apparently he had them sealed on the spool, and the
Mm-hmm.
spool's hollow, axles are hollow, and he didn't run any plates over the end of them, so you could
Yeah.
see straight through the car.
Yeah, I remember that on I think it was Jerry Ekman's car because he's from
Yeah,
Ohio up here,
yeah,
and he
yeah.
had it in a car show, and I walked past it and I dropped something or something, and I looked up and I was like, "Whoa, look at this! You can see all the way through this guy's
Okay, do
axle."
you think Jerry Ekman knew that car had nitrous on it?
Yes, he knew that
And
car
do you
had
think he
nitrous.
used the nitrous and all of
Yes,
that? Because his
you know,
story was he didn't know anything. Well, his
I was
story was
there.
he knew about it, never used it.
I know I was there when all that happened when that blew up. I was in the
Sweet.
pits. We walked
That
past it
was
and heard the boom.
that was 27 years ago last month,
Yep.
I believe.
Well, it would have been in June because it was at Spring Nationals in
Okay,
Columbus, and yeah,
97.
yeah, 97. Yeah, it was a
Yep.
year. It was a year I bought this house because it was the last year I went to Spring Nationals because everything was we were having kids and all that. But yeah, I was there when it happened. Yeah, me and my buddy had just got past it. We were a couple rows over, and we heard this big boom. We're like, "The hell was that?" And then yeah, the whole controversy happened, and
I've been looking for that video clip, and I guess it's ESPN or Diamond P or something. But I
yeah,
remember seeing it when it was on TV. They said that there was an explosion in the Orndorff and Ekman pit this morning, and they were doing news on it, right?
yeah,
And I remember the truck. He couldn't get the truck out of impound,
right,
right? He couldn't. He had a hard time. I think he ran out of there in the middle of the night with the truck and said, "Well, if you do that, you're never coming back." And that's what he
yep,
did. But
yep.
I wish I could find that video clip somewhere. I've never been able to find it.
And wasn't that the same year that the Dodge Boys shop got broke into and they just beat the
No,
snot out of their
that was
engines?
that was 2 years before. That was
Okay,
the
okay.
dumbest thing.
That
Who
was, wasn't
takes
it?
a sledgehammer and smashes the deck in on a block? It was like, I'm going to do just enough to make sure I have an excuse to
Yeah,
not.
that was an inside job, I
Yeah,
think.
all the way. And that graffiti on the wall, I'm like, man, that
Yeah.
if I was going to make the most unconvincing graffiti on the wall, I'd hire that guy.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was,
yeah, right.
I mean, I'm sure Warren Johnson went up there and spray painted that.
Yeah. WJ didn't give a crap about those
No.
guys anyway.
Well, he was on their case pretty good. He was looking at their 60 foots and their mile an hour on the big end and saying this stuff doesn't
Mhm.
add up. And
Right.
Billy Glidden, I think he gave a pretty truthful account of what
Yeah.
he did.
Yeah.
I've heard that before, and he said how they hit it, where they hit it, the whole thing. But he insisted his dad wasn't doing it. He said he knew
Right.
they were doing it though, but who knows?
Now his dad got busted once. They made him pull ahead and they weren't measuring cylinder bores at the time, but then for some reason they measured the cylinder bores, and all four cylinders were a different size. The
No,
the
Richard Petty
outer
did that.
cylinders, yeah, the outer cylinders were larger. Yep.
Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So yeah, that they all got their
Yeah,
own little
I
thing.
love it. I think it's cool. I remember that big, all that pro stock scandal in the '90s. I
Hmm.
really wish before everybody's dead and gone that the Wayne County people, because they're still living,
Yep.
would just come out and tell us if they did
Yeah.
it, because nobody cares now.
No.
But,
No.
but it would be neat to know the truth.
Yeah,
They
they
could
should
say,
make
"Hey,
one of
we were
those.
doing this. Here's how we did it," and I just wish they would.
They should do that on that storyteller show. You ever catch any
They
of those?
should, or they could do
Yeah.
it on my show. I don't care.
Yeah. Right.
Of
Yeah.
course they do it.
Yeah, we don't
I just wish
care.
they
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Uh,
There was a lot of weird, things like that that happened in drag racing. So kind of
well,
like
then
freaking.
it wasn't too long after that. The pro stock they were starting to crack down on the KB racing guys using exotic metals in the engine,
Yeah, you're using
and
Inconel and
and
all that stuff. Yeah.
you would think not much would come of that, but it caused teams some disruption for a minute or two.
Well, and then remember Warren Johnson was using the air shifter on his Linko instead of levers, and they
Mm,
outlawed that because they said he was cheating somehow with that. He had a delay box in it or something, And they're like, he's like,
yeah.
WJ, WJ. He's like, whatever.
I do miss pro stock before they went to fuel injection. I think that really hurt the class.
Yeah, I do too. It just
It yeah, it
made him too
NASCAR'd it up.
predictable. Yeah, it made him too predictable. They don't do
I
big
was
wheelies and stuff like that anymore, and
I
they
was talking.
sound like a motorcycle engine now because they're just revving the P90 out of them.
You know, John Gadosh runs a Pontiac. You know
That
what I'm
sounds
talking about?
familiar. Yeah,
He's an independent.
yeah,
The dude literally, I've seen the pictures. He literally builds his pro stock in his 2-car garage attached to his house.
nice.
I've seen pictures of this. Who would you would ever think this guy? But this chassis, I don't remember who built this chassis, but he does his assembly and his work in his 2-car garage in his house and
Mm-hmm.
backs his pro stock out of the driveway, like right where the newspaper gets delivered. Right.
Right.
He's as independent as they come. No sponsor, nothing. And I got to talk to him a little bit about when they made the changeover, and he says all it's going to do is bury people like us. And says we
Oh
don't
yeah.
have a massive amount of money to start over on R&D.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that this stupid thing about shortening up the wheelie bars, he said all that's going to do is make people put 10 more pounds on the front end. It's not going to have
Yep.
anything to do with wheel stands or anything.
Nope.
He said, and
Nope.
running the decals on the windows, he said all that stuff was stupid. He said that was all decided by people who don't know anything. But he said
Yeah.
the big one was you make a small independent who's scrapped and clawed to make all this money, getting used parts and making friendships with other teams. And now they change everything. Because, see, when you make a change like they made with fuel injection, you lose it all. They're changing everything.
Yeah.
The whole combination. And those little teams couldn't do it. They couldn't spend $1 million to start over.
Yeah, because they had to, the chassis was different, the motors are different, the fuel systems are different.
Johnson out.
Yeah.
Curtin Warren Johnson got knocked out.
And what's ironic about that is, like in the 90s, he was wanting to run fuel injection. He was like, you want to see these cars fly? Let me start running fuel injection. And they wouldn't.
Yep.
And then when they did, he was like, I'm out.
Well, it's funny because like Roy and Alan Johnson, I know they were running the highest RPM of any team in the carbureted era. They were somewhere between 12,000 and maybe 12,300, 4, which is insane when you think about it.
Yeah.
A 500-inch engine turning over 12,000 RPM.
Yeah.
But they couldn't get their program to work. I mean, they just fizzled out within a year. So we lost those guys. We lost Curtin Warren Johnson. We lost probably a half a dozen really strong perennial teams that just didn't want to start completely over with their programs.
Yep. That's like Dom Perdome, when he quit, he was like, I ran against a lot of people with a lot of bread. He said, but that's when the Shake Cowan was doing with you just said his name, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Johnson's and Alan Johnson, and he was like, but I've never competed anybody that owns a country. He's like, I can't compete with these guys. I don't have the money. I don't have the resources.
That money was unreal.
That was stupid.
Lars says rumor is all those guys cheated with lithium grease and JB Weld.
Yeah, that could have been. I think they still do, though.
Oh, man. I just wish that we had better door car classes. Like, I don't think that new pro stock is where it's at. And I don't think the pro mod doing that exhibition pro mod class is either.
Nah, I don't. Yeah.
I'd like to see a super stock class be a televised class. I think that would be a lot cooler.
Whenever I go to a national event, I always go the early days, like Indy's coming. It starts on like Wednesday or Thursday.
Yes.
Yeah, we go watch all the stock and the super stock and the comp eliminator, and my favorite is the Hemi shootout.
Of course,
that's so much fun to watch. There's
a few
one
years
old guy
ago, I was this close to buying an old Hemi from Chuck Camella that was in his start, and we almost. What was that hurricane they had down there? Not the ones last year, but there was a big one before then, and he lives over in the Tampa area, and it was a nasty one. I mean, it landed on his town, and that stopped me from going down there. And then things just kind of went sideways.
Yeah, right, they fizzled.
It never happened. But if it hadn't been for
Hurricane Andrew,
made that happen. I can't remember now. This was a few years before COVID. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, I can't.
But his wasn't too bad. It wasn't a bunch of blown up trash like a lot of these guys have. It was viable. He just he's old, he's slowing down.
Right. Yeah, that was it. I think it's Jim Pancake. He's from Columbus, and his car is still licensed and insured. Have you ever seen that? It's got license plates on it. Has his competition number on it. Yeah, yeah. He drives it around. That. It's funny. Yeah. And he's usually, he usually is top qualifier too. He's an old guy. He's like 80, 83, 84 years old. And he's been running that class ever since it was,
That's cool.
came to be. Super nice guy to talk to, also.
I always liked watching. So Farmington Dragway in North Carolina is not too far from here. I like
Mm-hmm.
that track. And Bullet Bob Reed, you know, in his later years, he wasn't running a full, NHRA schedule or anything anymore. But he did a lot of like little match racing and stuff, these local tracks. And Farmington was real close to where he lived. You could tell he was just from a different generation. He raced in his cowboy boots and he wore open face helmet with a cigarette dangling out of his mouth.
Right? Yeah.
And this guy's just leaving, going through with the wheels up through 2 gears, cigarette hanging out of his mouth, never skipped a beat.
Just like old Dick
It
Landy.
raised his heart rate the least to do that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I used to watch old race Dick Landy running pro stock, and he'd have a big old cigar, and he's just letting her have it,
Right. I saw something that reminded me of it I had forgotten about, but remember Dick Trickle used to run? He had the cigarette lighter installed in his Winston Cup car.
Yep.
You just would never see that today.
Yeah. Waiting on it, quick. Yeah. Light it up. Yeah.
I'm surprised the drivers now don't say, "Hey, I need that thing so I can put my USB plug for my phone."
Right, I need my charger for my phone. Yeah, I've got this movie to watch while I'm driving.
Right.
Or while the car's driving itself, whatever they do now.
I think they call them power ports now. They sanitize it. They won't call it the cigarette lighter anymore.
No, it's not the cigar lighter anymore. Yeah, it's the auxiliary power outlet is what they are.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. I know. I saw one, like the first few of them, and instead of being the cigar lighter, it was a little flap, and it had a no smoking thing on it.
Yeah.
I was like, well, if you want to smoke in your car, you don't have to have a cigar lighter in the dash. You can.
Yeah, one I
Marcus for penny loafers.
Yeah. And Trickle smoked drug. Yeah, he had a cigarette lighter in the car. I remember that. That's cool.
Yeah, he'd pop one in, he'd poop, and he'd light it up and stick that dude in there and chug away until he had to go. And
I wanted him to do the the thing you see people do when they go into convenience store, they just lit one up and they'll put it out and set it on the windowsill, then go in and grab it on the way out.
Right.
I want to see Trickle do that. Just let it on the wall, and the next college can come back and grab
it. Yeah, drive by like boop, stick it in there. Yeah.
Right.
First one out of the pits. Oh, wait a minute. I kind of sip my cigarette. Oh, damn. Now I'm 13th out.
I miss the individuality in motorsports like that. How different, look at how different like Bob Glidden and Warren Johnson were, and Larry Morgan. I mean, he's got all kinds of personality, of course, and today they're all these jockey drivers that are all just alike. It's like they just punched them out of a mold or something.
And they're all just catty and they bitch about each other, and it's like.
But that's what's so cool about what we're doing is we got all these diversity of cars and personalities and all this stuff, and that's what we miss about professional motorsports.
Yes.
It's lost all that. Well, it's alive and well here,
It is. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I like about it too. Like even when I was racing, I mean, there was always you had all these little cliques, and it was like. We never did anything to each other, but we just didn't talk to each other, and I hated that. So that's like me and Brian were talking though. Like last year, the first year, there was groups that all kind of stayed together. He's like, but now since we've all started doing these lives the last year in between the first one and the second one, he's like, now we literally all know each other. Like everybody knows.
Some people take that stuff way too seriously.
Right.
I mean, I get when people would keep racing and speed secrets, but we're just to the point where there's not nearly as much of that worth doing today. I mean,
no. The Don.
Oh,
in the house. We're not worthy.
What's up, y'all?
We're not worthy. Supposed to do your little.
Howdy, sir.
There you go.
Waves to the crowd.
What is that? Your Eleanor Roosevelt in a parade wave? What is that?
Yeah.
You may sit now.
Hello, peasants. You may sit now. Yeah.
My ring.
Yeah, kiss my ring. What's happening, Don?
Oh, just looking at that 35 behind John up there.
Oh, I know, man. We were just talking about that. I was like, holy
34 to 55, 50, 53.
53 and
Yeah.
whatever seconds are left. Yeah.
Yep.
Of course, it's raining again here. At least it waited till after dark today.
Yeah, it rolled through here about 5 o'clock when I got home. I was like, crap.
Yeah, we're supposed to get that same shit overnight. Supposed to be some nasties coming through.
It was really windy earlier. Like when I was at work, it was blowing stuff all over the place.
Yeah, they're calling for possible tornadoes and all that for this shit coming through tonight.
Well, we don't want to hear that stuff.
I know it.
Ron says the fuel cell is 93% done now.
93%. How did we arrive at that?
He started
Wow.
at 92.
Well, he picked it up from the weld guy today, so we got the filler neck welded on and
Cool.
some plate welded on, so we can get some fittings in it. But you know, we nothing like a fireball in the trunk. We want to try and avoid that
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be nice if we didn't get cremated.
on the fly.
That fuel cell I have, it has like 3 different ports on it for the return line, and the one I hooked mine at return up to, it has a tube that runs down and turns, like it aims it at the sump. And I think that thing is aerating the fuel, because when I get down to about 2 gallons of fuel, the fuel pump like starts freaking out, blowing air and stuff. Like it's picking up bubbles. I need to move to a different port, I guess. So it's got a bunch of ports on it. So, but anyway, he said now it's dry. That's why it's 93%. Okay. Oh, it just got clear coated. All right.
Yeah, Ron used to be in marketing, so everything's got to be near perfect, you know.
Now it's 94, Ron, because it dried.
Yeah, then we can get that in the tank, run the fuel lines. That's going to be over the weekend. It's supposed to be nice this week.
How much you have left on the car, Don?
Well, the whole list, or just
the whole list. The whole list.
Here's one page.
I got to make a list on mine. I'm doing that tomorrow.
That's a lot of it. That's not all of it.
Okay.
But a lot of it's, you know, saying 4 items here is all on the fuel tank and the fuel system.
Okay.
Kill switch. We got the rear firewall. We got it cut out. We just got to mount it yet.
Nice. Heck
Floors
yeah.
are about done. Then I got to get it. I want to put insulation down for the carpet, or before the carpet.
What you going to put down? What do they call that stuff you put down on the floor?
Hush mat stuff.
Yeah, whatever that. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm looking for that. I'm debating right now. I'm searching it right now, but
on Amazon, they're like 12-inch square sheets, and they come with a roller and everything. And see, it's not too bad. You get a box of like 15 or 20 of them, I think, for like $50. I was looking into that myself. That's not called Hush Mat. It's a generic one, but yeah.
Yeah, I was looking on it earlier. I need right around 30 square feet. It's about $50.
I don't need anything near that for my truck. I got like 10 square feet.
You can cut little pieces out, and you can make a little mosaic in a corner if you need to. You don't have to have pieces.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah,
it's already got adhesive on the one side. So.
Yeah, it's just peel and stick, and then you roll it into place. They give you the little roller and the little cutter, and
so I got carpet ordered. That should be here beginning of the week.
You know, just Mopar Joe, how civilized he is. He put that stuff in his race car and carpeted over it. And there's these guys out there, oh man, that adds weight. And Joe's like, okay, it adds like this much weight, and it takes all that noise and heat out and makes your race day so much better.
That's what I'm looking for.
Heat. Yeah, the heat's the main thing. Oh,
she missed me today.
The one-eyed lover is here.
Kill Mat or Dynamat. Dynamat's what I had in my mind, but there's a lot.
That's what I think. You're right. Dynamat.
Yeah. Someone was talking about the orange paper today. I can't think who it was. And I said, yeah, there's other people doing orange paper. And I think Rob has orange paper for days until Halloween.
He does, yeah. Yeah, he's still keeping it going. Yep. He was counting her down the other night when he was on.
Yeah, 35 days. I figure I got 3 weeks. I got it. It's got to be on the ground in 3 weeks. I got it. I got to make an appointment to get the front end alignment.
I got my drive shaft out. It's in the back of the truck. I'll have them pick it up tomorrow and put a new tube in it. So then I got to do the transmission mount, which it's on it. I just got to drill a hole in the cross member. It's in a different spot. And then hook the electric fan up. And Hunter's going to help me weld some more pieces of the roll bar in. It won't be 100% finished when I go to Sykeston, but it'll be enough, Yeah. It'll be enough I can get the seat in it and everything.
When are you guys coming down?
I'm coming down Thursday.
What time of day? Just curious, because Tech is open from 12 to 6 for anybody who can make it, because that'll cut the line down for Friday.
I'm hoping to leave at probably 8 o'clock in the morning, so that'll put me there at about 2 to 3 o'clock.
Okay. Wow, okay.
Yeah, so it should be good. Yeah.
You guys might be able to get
I wanted to go do supper at. I figured we were doing supper at Lambert's. I want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lambert's. That's part of the deal.
Right? Yeah. It was so good, but I didn't go when everybody else did because we got there late, and then we had to turn around and take back off because Dad. So we already warned Dad. You're not allowed to get sick this year. Like, take your vitamins or whatever. If I only knew it was kidney stones, we didn't know what it was. I wouldn't have left because he's always got kidney stones. So,
like you want to be there. Like you really want to be there when he passes that.
No, I don't.
A scream coming from the bathroom.
Right, screaming from the old grown man, having a baby, a microscopic baby.
See him come out with a tear in his eye.
Man, he had some so bad when we were kids. They had to go in with a sonar and break them up so they would come out. It was crazy. Yeah, had to break them up. Yeah, exactly, John. Yeah, they suck, and I think they're hereditary because me and my brothers get them also. Not as often as him.
A lot of that's coming from not drinking enough water.
Yeah,
but we're all victims of that.
If Diet Dr. Pepper prevents kidney stones, I can guarantee you I'll never have one. Right. But I don't think that's the case.
Nah. You drink plenty of water.
If there's any ailment that Diet Dr. Pepper prevents, I would never, ever get
it. Because that's all you drink.
I'm just saying. My blood type is probably Diet Dr. Pepper.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when I first started drinking Diet Pop, and Dr. Pepper was the closest one.
Yeah.
That one, and then I like Coke Zero. That's like the closest ones to the regular taste,
Who decided that Diet Coke was something that people would consume on purpose? I mean, it just, that horrible metallic taste like that you get in your mouth when you're grinding, that weird, that's like what Diet Coke tastes like on purpose. It's just awful.
It's that, whatever chemical they use in it. Yeah. That's why I like Coke Zero better than Diet Coke for sure. Yeah, like when you're grinding your teeth, or if you cut yourself, you get that weird metallic taste in your mouth. It's like, that's what that tastes like.
Yes.
It's not my favorite. Yeah.
Mohawk says with Pepsi. My grandfather drove for Coca-Cola for years and years. He was a general manager for one of the bottling plants, and he wouldn't allow Pepsi in his house.
Oh, wow.
It was a big deal. Yeah.
That's dedicated.
Yep. He would not allow Pepsi in his house.
The competition.
Hey, Buck.
If
what's
he
happening,
knew there
buddy?
was a refrigerator full of Diet Dr. Pepper in there, he probably would freak.
Yeah. That's PepsiCo, buddy. I'm not even coming in your house. Hardly ever drink
Gosh, you didn't even
soda
think
and
about
never
it.
diet.
Some of the people I have working in there have Pepsi in there. Ooh, huge no.
Whenever your uncle comes over, like, don't get anything out of that refrigerator. You're not going to be happy about what's in that refrigerator.
I guarantee you, if either of them came up and was sawing that, they would have to tell your grandfather would never go out. I'm sure they'd say that. They'd
Or
see
your
it. And they
grandpa,
would
yeah.
remind me, yeah.
Yeah, he's probably rolling over in his grave right now, unfortunately.
I bet I found easily 200 or 300 liquor bottles in that basement, though. Empty. It's like, I mean, if there is some rarity about Cutty Sark bottles, and I were to put these on the market, they would drop to nothing. It's like a dump truck load of them in the basement.
You flood the market. You'd flood the market with antique liquor bottles.
Yeah.
Were they neatly organized, or they throw it in a pile?
Most of them were neatly organized. It's like he put up a metal shelf just for his empty liquor bottles, like current vintage stuff.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he thought there was going to be a market for empties in the future.
I have no idea. I found a pizza box from the 80s when I was cleaning.
Were they cork top ones or twist top ones?
There were some cork top ones in there. Sure enough, there were. Now that I think about it, most of them were twist top, metal. That's stamped.
Cool. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I found a cigar box full of silver change. It was all like, from 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s.
Wow.
It was all pre-64 quarters and nickels and dimes and stuff. But it was all silver.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's always a treat.
I found a mason jar in my we were cleaning out my great grandparents' house, my grandmother's parents' house, and I found a mason jar full of old silver change. And then we found a box of paper money silver certificates in the same spot.
Neat.
Like I don't think it was a cigar box, but something like a tin, like a cookie tin or something. I remember when I was a little kid, I was running up like, Grandma, look, I found some pennies. And she was like, It's like, let me give you $1 for finding that.
Unfinished project.
Don't tell nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Found somebody's stash.
Jason,
I was
you
in the
have
front
wheels
yard
on
of
your
that
rear
house.
truck.
I was mowing the front yard of that house, and some guy from New Jersey in one of those, it was like a 2000-ish 1 or 2 something Chrysler convertible. You know how they were brown with the gold? Those, whatever they were. I don't know what they were, Sebrings or Cirrus or something like that.
Yeah,
New Jersey. He pulls in, and this street only has 2 houses on it. He pulls in, throws his cigarette out in my yard right while I'm mowing.
Nice.
And then just starts reading the map. He's in a convertible. I shut the mower off, picked his lit cigarette up, threw it in the back seat of his car, and said, "You dropped something." And then I went back to mowing.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, I just couldn't believe the guy did that.
That's pretty ballsy.
I'm mowing in my front yard, and he does this. He never said anything. He finished looking at his map and he left. I know he heard it because it hit. I shut the mower off. Some people, I don't get the litter bug thing.
No, I always roll mine out and I always stick the butts in my pocket. Wendy's always giving me hell because they go through the wash.
Ooh.
They usually stay in my pockets, but yeah, I don't get that either. People throwing shit out like that, even when I'm out in the woods. What?
Can you guys hear me? Yes.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. I had to switch. The batteries died in my headset, so I had to switch over to the camera. Sorry, I was listening. I'm gonna put these 10-inch
wheels for a picture. That'll look good.
10-inch.
Okay. All right.
Just
1 second. Whoops. Yeah, right. Just the wheel. Yeah. Whoops. Okay. Give me 1 second. Oh, where is my?
Yeah, Danny Boyd, the filterless. I still break them down so the tobacco flies in the wind. Still not an object on the ground.
I had a friend that had a motorcycle for sale. These two rough and tumble looking women came to look at it. And while one of them was looking at the bike, the other one took her ashtray out of the car in his driveway, and dumped it out in his driveway. Must have
Wow.
been 50 cigarettes and just dumped it out her window in his driveway. It's just unbelievable to think people would do something
That
like
is
that.
ballsy. I mean, that's when you get gas. They got garbage cans there. And a lot of those people, they don't even think twice about doing it. They think it's normal.
Hmm. Just dump their shit out on the ground.
I was telling Dawn, I knew these people. A friend of mine had a motorcycle for sale, and these two women came to look at it. While one was looking at the bike, the other took her ashtray out of the car, must have had 50 cigarettes in it, and dumped it out the window in his driveway.
Oh, what
His gravel driveway. He had to clean all that up.
There used to be some kids that lived a couple doors down from us, and they would just throw they'd drive by looking straight in my face and just throw their McDonald's shit out the window.
Yeah.
One day I was out there, I threw it right back in their car.
Yeah.
Do that nowadays, they'd probably shoot you.
Yeah, whatever. I shoot back, so.
Speaking of that, we had a shooting here in town today.
Oh,
Guy
crap, really?
Guy didn't make it. I was actually, it was, I don't know, 5, 8, 10 blocks up the road here. It's right by our Advanced Auto Parts.
Mm-hmm.
A disgruntled worker went into the place and ended up the CEO boss was there, and he ended up shot him.
Damn.
Usually it's the disgruntled workers the one that goes in and shoots up the place, but he's the one that got it.
Don, I thought you were going to say it was a guy that just put in his 5th rack opinion on warranty.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like 10:30 this morning. They ended up they revived him on scene, but he died again at the hospital.
Terrible.
Saying it.
That sucks.
Well, I'm curious what happened between the two that the boss would feel threatened. But you know how it works with disgruntled.
Like some dirt on him or something, huh?
They got some. Well, they go over the top sometimes. So
I tell you what, I tell people this, and I know people aren't usually apt to listen until something really gets their attention, but never let anybody else appraise the value of your life. If you work at a parts store and the company policy is not to carry a gun, carry one anyway, and just don't tell anyone. I mean, seriously, just don't tell anybody, and you'll never have a problem, and you'll never not have it. And I tell you, I would never let anybody else praise the value of my life.
Well, the people that brag about carrying it probably shouldn't be carrying it in the first place.
Most of those people have absolutely no skill, and they don't have their gun when they need it, and they don't have it loaded and all that crazy. They keep it in some soft holster, and carry it around their hand and all that. Those people aren't going to be able to use it effectively when they need it anyway. They're not operators. You can tell.
Yeah, Rob and I had that problem when a big company took over our shop. They were like, you can't. And I was like, I just won't tell you I got it, and you won't know I have it. So
that's the correct answer.
Until I need it, and then you'll be like, oh, I'm glad you had that.
If you think about it, if you're more afraid of getting fired than losing your life, you're either not doing a very good job of keeping on the down low that you carry your gun, or your priorities are wrong, or both.
I was going to say you got your priorities. You don't have your priorities straight.
I think it's both, but yeah, that's what we did. We're like, they'd ask, like, no.
Well, I got one agent now that he's on the border of the firearms policy with me. He doesn't carry a gun, and I prefer they all do, but it's his choice.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I know every once in a while you go into a business and some people you can tell that they don't hide it well, but you can tell they carry, and I actually feel safer when there's other people that carry.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's like I'm getting behind that guy if shit starts going down.
Most people you can tell are carrying though. They're just going to be a good bullet sponge for you. Most operators you can't tell they carry. You're not going to know.
Mm-hmm.
And enough saying holsters and everything on the market nowadays, you can carry without people knowing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of gimmicky stuff out there. Unfinished Project brings up an interesting point. Families cycling, and a mom attempted to shoot a dog and shot her kid instead. That's called training. Training is what keeps that from happening.
Yeah.
Most people will get the gun, but very few will get the training.
Yeah. Office buildings which prohibit carry. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't care less about that.
Yeah.
If it doesn't have metal detectors, green light.
We're good. Yeah.
And sometimes even metal detectors are a joke. I know I had a student one time. He went to a concert. I can't remember who it was now. He went to a concert, and he walks up to the metal detector and says, "Okay, take everything out of your pockets." So he takes his billfold, and he had this little small pistol out. He set with the billfold. They sent him through the metal detector and didn't even look and pushed his stuff across.
Push your stuff
And he
to
put
him.
the old gun back in his pocket and went on him.
I can believe that.
Yeah, it happened. It was in North Carolina. It was one of my students. He's telling me about it. And I've seen you remember when Virginia Tech and Tennessee played in what was at the time the largest football game in history at Bristol Motor Speedway?
Yeah.
This was about 7 years ago or so.
Yeah, it ain't been
I
long.
went to that, and there was a whole bunch of metal detectors. But they had completely incompetent, untrained people running them. So what they had is they'll have like 20 of these stalls, but they would have like one person trying to watch 4 or 5 of them. And they were just stepping back, letting the people walk through, and only, tried to get everybody to not have metal to start with. Well, there was a whole bunch of them down at one end, and there was probably about 10 or 15 stalls. Nobody was watching, and I walked through one, and it starts blaring. Nobody said anything. I just kept going.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd be surprised how much metal detectors don't do.
Yeah.
Danny Boyd, yes, it was. It was a country music concert.
That was Bruton Smith's biggest dream, man, was to have a football game there at Bristol. So yeah.
He did, and I found my footage of drunks getting thrown out of that one. So my best video is drunks getting thrown out of Lane Stadium, and now I found my footage of the drunks getting thrown out of Bristol.
From Bristol.
So now I'll put it up and see if it does well too.
Yeah, that's
we were at the drag strip. We were at the drag strip one year, and I had this old Honda moped with my pit bike, and I drove down the hill to the round track, and I couldn't make it back up that hill. It's so steep for the back, it was crazy. What's up, NSB? Blue guy's always carrying. I feel safe. There you go, Turbo Tom.
Yeah, Danny Boyd. I'll put it up. I'll put it up. It was good. It was it started out a white trash throwdown, and then it turned into a bunch of drunks impersonating the throwdown for people who didn't see it after they got thrown out. It was excellent.
They had to do it over again. Huh?
Yeah, they did. They were reenacting it, and it was great. It was great.
Same stuff, different people, huh?
I remember that much better than the game. It was very entertaining.
Right.
Yeah, funny. Dan, I'll make it a point to do that. It was really, in fact, it's on that drive. That's why I couldn't find it. It's on an old hard drive, and I found it. I'll put it up.
Yeah, I got a hard drive with a bunch of pictures and videos on it. I need to get off myself. I was like, when I first came on, my introduction video, that was the first YouTube video I ever made. before shorts were out, it was like 2 minutes long. It was too short, you know. Now it's too long.
Right.
Go figure, right?
Well, good evening, everybody. You too, John. Thank you, Dr. Art.
What's happening,
That's,
Dr. Hart?
that would make an excellent welcome mat, you know?
You.
Yeah, it will be a safe place. That's right, Brian.
America's wherever I'm standing. I don't care if we were having this event in California or Illinois. It doesn't make any difference to me. I'm not changing what I do.
Right. That's right. I gotta find a racing bucket seat. I wanted to keep that bench seat that was in the truck in it because it's nice, but man, when I'm in there and I got my helmet on, my helmet's on the roof. Like I sit way too high in there. The truck's too small or I'm too big. I can't figure out which is which, but
Y'all are tall. Like both of y'all are well over 6 feet, aren't you?
yeah.
I'm glad I don't have that problem.
I'm 6'2" ish. I'm shrinking. Rob's 6'5".
Man.
I don't know if you guys saw Rob's live Tuesday night, but our other brother Jeremy was on there. He's in between us. He's like 6'3".
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah, y'all are all tall.
yeah.
I'd have to wear 3-inch heels to be 6 feet tall.
I don't want to see you wear heels, John.
Oh, come on.
It has being tall has its disadvantages though, especially working under cars on lifts because they don't make them for tall people. About 5'8", you'd be perfect, you know.
Yeah, I got a real short torso, but real long legs and real long arms. Like my wingspan is over 6 feet. I have,
Right,
a 73-inch wingspan.
So you'd be like, you would have been a good swimmer.
Yeah.
You were a good swimmer.
Yeah, I got a lot of reach, and my legs are real long too. So the fellow, my racing buddy Robert, he was 6'3", but he was exactly the opposite. He had a real long torso, and his legs were real short. 6'3", and his belt doesn't even come to where mine does. So in the race car, I've sat in his car. I'm like, my gosh, how do you get in this thing? He had the pedals hung on the inside of the cross member.
Yeah.
Imagine that. You're
Right.
supposed to drill a hole and weld a sleeve in and put them on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
He had them on the inside. That's how short his legs were, and he could drive it like it's a 4-speed car.
Well, my buddy,
I could barely get in that thing.
well, my buddy James would get in my Mustang. He was about 5'10". If he was racing it, I'd have to zip tie I had cut a piece of 2x4, just as wide as the gas pedal. And I'd have to zip tie it so he could push the gas all the way down.
See, yeah, I don't have that problem at all.
Because the seat didn't move, and it was all the way back and down, because of me. And I don't like sitting real close to the steering wheel, but I like my knees, bent a little bit. It's all in how you want to sit in the car, But yeah, that seat was literally all the way back as far as it could go and bolted to the floor. So it was like way down in there.
You're technically, most people don't put their seat where it should be. What you're technically supposed to have is you should have a little bit of bend in your knees with your feet flat on the floor behind the pedal, technically.
Yeah.
But that's not very comfortable, so nobody drives that way, right?
Right.
But even with my feet flat on the floor, I'm still almost all the way back on the seat.
Yeah.
I mean, it's even with the seat all the way back, my legs are still bent a little more than I really like. I got long legs, and I'm just not very tall. Good news is I fit under the roof of anything.
Right. Yeah, that's my problem is my torso's real long. So a lot of times when I get in like a roller coaster ride and it has those things that come down, there's some of them I actually can't get down because my shoulders and my tailbone, it just tries to compress it. And, they either get the fat guy belt out for me or they tell me to get off because I can't,
And my dad was like that. He had the real long torso and real short legs. He's 6 feet tall and my legs are longer than his. But he had that long torso. So he would sit in the seat. He probably looked like he was 6'2" or 3 riding around the seat just because of that. Yep. It's funny how people are different like that, isn't it?
Yeah, you're old. Yeah. Then, like I said, when your wingspan's longer than your height, that's kind of a oddity, which I'm pretty sure mine is too. Because I can, standing flat-footed, I can touch 8 feet. I can touch the ceiling in my living room standing flat-foot.
Yep.
So.
I reached 7'5" flat-foot. And that's a handy number to know as a realtor because then you can tell how high the ceilings are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's, you don't have
Hey,
to carry
Dizzy.
a measure with you.
What's happening, Dizzy? Bringing a model. What is it? 425 10 caliber.
It's a shotgun.
Damn. Yep.
Oh man, the Ape Index.
Only long I got is long. I have a shotgun that I need to shoot that customer of mine, old feller by the name of Benny Dixon. We used to have the trap shooting world competition here at the Dayton Airport years ago in Vandalia, and he won that thing 3 times with this gun, and he gave it to me because I worked on his car about 5 years ago, and I never have went trap shooting because of all my surgeries and stuff. So I want to go shoot it because it's a release trigger and not a pull trigger also, and it's real long. It's a Remington, I think. Is it a Remington or is it no? It's a Winchester. Sorry, it's real long and it has 2 dots on the barrel for trap shooting. Pretty neat.
That's cool. I've only done that one time. I've done trap shooting exactly once. And it was, believe it or not, it's an integral part of passing your shotgun instructor qualification for NRA.
Got you. Yeah.
It's a really antiquated program, the shotgun
Mhm.
program they have. But I had to do it. And I did it with an 18-inch pump shotgun.
Wow.
Which,
Nice.
yeah, I know. And they're like, you'll never hit anything with that. I said, well, I'm going to try. And I passed. I barely passed, but I passed.
My favorite gun that we used to go trap shooting with is an old Mossberg 500 pump gun.
Yeah.
Right out of the box.
That's a great shotgun.
And Rob always had the Remington 870. But what's funny is we'd be trap shooting and somebody would say, "Oh, it's a gun. It's a gun." So Robbie and I would switch guns. Same thing.
Those are the 2 best pump shotguns there are.
They are.
They're both great.
Yep. And yeah,
I have the 870. I should admit that Mossberg is really switching. The Mossberg puts the safety on top where it should be.
right.
That's really
right
the chief thing. The Mossberg is
Mhm.
better.
Instead
That
of being
870's got
up
a big
Yep.
button down there. And I put an extended one on mine, but I got to tell you, just on top is the place to have it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always nice because I'll have the safety on. Then when I'm ready, I just click it and then we're ready to rock.
Danny
Yeah,
Boyd, his wingspan is 68. See that?
Nice. Yep.
Dan, you're what, 5'8", I think you've said? I'm an inch taller than you, and I got 5 more inches of wingspan. See, I'm like a pterodactyl with freaking ape hanger arms.
I'm with Brian. He's got catcher's mitts for hands. Yeah, I get mine stuck in stuff. Oh, I got stuck in a Ranger the other day.
Was he under the dash?
What's that?
Was he under the dash?
I was putting a brake power booster on it, and so I'm leaning in the driver's door, laying on the floor, and I got this hand up here, and I'm holding the booster in, and then I got all the nuts started, and I went to grab my ratchet, and I couldn't get it. I had to force my arm past the steering column and grab it back here, and then I was like, I can't get out. I'm stuck. And I was like, started wiggling. I was like, I'm about to freak out. Because it was a little standard cabin, so the seat wouldn't go back very far, and I was like, holy crap. I don't do well. 870 ultralight with it. There you go. Yep.
870 with a 30-inch barrel? Mm-hmm. My gosh.
I got some turkey chokes that make mine pretty long.
30? That's a crazy long barrel.
Yeah. Well, I think that trap gun I have, I think is 30 inches. Yeah. Because we used to do a lot of card shoots also, where you're just doing a standing, just one shot at a card at I think 30 feet, and he had set it up for doing that also. He's got chokes that are marked. They're like, this one's for trap, this one's for skeet, and this one's for card. It's like pretty neat. But he was really good.
You ever shot one of those, either the Mossberg or the Remington, the shotgun that's got that funky little pistol grip stock that lays back?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I don't like them.
No, really, they're great if you take that stupid thing off and you put a brace on it.
Yeah.
Now you just got a nice short pump that works, but that stupid grip.
I bought an 870 uh, I don't remember if it's a Super Magnum or Express Magnum, but it'll shoot the 3.5-inch shell, and it's a turkey gun, so it's all camo dipped, and it's got the fiber optic sights and stuff, and all the long. Dude, I can't hit anything with that thing. I hate that gun. It's the prettiest gun you ever seen, but I can't hit. Oh no.
Yeah, pretty don't get
Oh,
it done.
You guys still there? You guys still there? Okay.
Yep. We're here.
It started to go into power save mode. It shut the monitors. I was like, oh no, don't do this again. But yeah, it's like I said, it's everybody sees it. They're like, oh, that's a really cool gun, and it's got the shine the light on it, and the fiber optics all light up and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I said, but you can't hit a dang side of a barn with this thing. I hate it. Like I said, my favorite is my old $200 Mossberg 500, and Robbie bought me a rubber sling for that one year for Christmas. That is the best thing in the world. It don't slide around when you got it on your arm.
Is it a single point?
What's that?
Is it a single point sling?
Well, it hooks on the barrel and on the forward assist and then the
Okay.
butt. Yeah. Yeah, it's real nice because it doesn't slide, and yeah.
I like a single point on a shotgun, but they're so heavy and unruly that
Yeah.
a lot of people in professional training world are just going away from having slings on shotguns altogether.
All right.
Because for the most part, your shotgun fight's not going to use a lot of ammo. And
No.
so pretty much, if you're not going to get it
Yeah.
done with what's in the gun and on the side saddle, you're not going to be carrying it anyway. So that kind of makes sense.
Well, we use those when we went bird hunting and stuff.
Right,
So
right.
that's why I used it.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But no, like the one upstairs that I use, it doesn't have a sling, and it's got a real short barrel for getting around corners. And
I know probably the best shotgun teacher I ever had was a guy named Tim Morris. And he taught a tactical response, still does. Tim's still there as far as I know, but he is a shotgun specialist. And that guy is good. Port loading, distance shooting, select load with the slugs, whatever. He's good at all of it. And we had the longest duel on the dueling tree with shotguns with him. It was me and him. And what the idea is for doing this in a class is to get people to, use what's in the gun. Then you want to see them port load. Then you want to see them transition to the pistol, whatever. I got into it with him going back and forth. And then he had another instructor jump in with him. I had another student jump in with me, back and forth, port loading, handing us ammo, pistol. I bet duel went on probably for 90 seconds on a dueling tree. I don't know how much ammo we went through, but man, it was a lot of fun.
Isn't it though?
Oh yeah, it was a blast. Took that long to get all the plates on one side. They won, but that was a long, long duel. It was a blast
though. Yeah, we're getting close to deer season here. Right after Sykeston, we got early season.
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
And the freezer's getting low on stock, so
time to fill her up, huh, Don?
Well, if we'd quit sending you venison, we'd have some.
Yeah, right. Hey, it doesn't go to waste. I promise you that.
Sure it don't.
It does not go to waste.
Saying that Hamburg makes great chili.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I made some. I took it with me when we went camping. I made some coney sauce with it when we took the kids a couple weeks ago, the grandkids. They're like, Papa, this is the best coney sauce ever. I was like, yeah, I know. I was like, you want to know what's in it? They're like, no.
Your best handgun long shot. I can hit pretty reliably at 100 yards a man-sized target. That's a 9 with excess big dot sights. I don't know if I've ever tried longer than that and hit, but I could pretty reliably get on a full target at 100.
Rob and Dad were over shooting rifles on the 100-yard range, and Dad's got a big old 44 Magnum, big old long barrel thing. It's sitting there on the bench. They have one bullet in it. I just picked it up, and we had clay birds down there at 100 yards. I picked it up one-handed. It was like, those things are crazy whammo, and I hit that. I was like, I'm never going to do that again. I'm never even going to try it again.
Yeah, right. Don't. Yeah, don't.
I'm never going to do that again. Everybody was like, "Holy moly!" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not doing it again. I can say I did it. I won't ever do it again." But gosh, that thing is loud too. Holy moly! What's really funny is the gun that I do carry, I've never shot. I've literally never shot it.
I don't know if you can see this, but I had to go to a graveside service today, and I saw this walking through the cemetery.
Let's see if I can put you on solo here real quick. Oop. Is it Eenie and Meanie? Is that what it says?
Teeny.
Teeny, okay. Teeny and Weenie, is that what it says? I can't see the other one on the
Close enough.
my right side, yeah.
Oh, Dick.
Somebody actually did this and just thought that was perfectly okay.
That's hilarious. Teeny Dick. Yeah, well, you had to take a picture of that one, that's for
I
sure.
really hope it was somebody that had that sense of humor and that it wasn't just old people that didn't.
Teeny and Dick. We buried Teeny and Dick right next to each other, boys.
Got Teeny Dick over here.
We're waiting on Weenie to pass away, and we'll put her right in the middle.
I didn't want to walk over and look at the rest of the stones. Like, I really don't want to know who these people are. I really don't. But
American Sniper, yeah.
yeah, you should watch that.
I actually have a tattoo because of that movie. It's my Punisher tattoo, but it has the crosshairs in the eye for the sniper, for the Marine sniper. My grandfather was in the Marine Corps, so that's kind of for him. So
That's cool.
and it's for race car, because I'm a big fan of the Punisher Le Mans.
That's right. You really love your no-name nationals people, don't you, Jason?
I do. That's my peeps. It's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be really fun. Do you have a dedicated schedule yet, John? Or are you still working on it?
Yes, we do. And tomorrow
You do?
we're going to talk about the daily schedule and got an announcement for tomorrow.
And you're gonna have Deke.
Cool. I'm adding to the schedule.
And you're gonna have Deke on there tomorrow too, right? Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Deke in Dallas. We're going to talk about how to pass tech. So tomorrow will be a useful live stream if you plan to attend the No Name Nationals.
Oh, I'm already making my list of questions to ask so I don't forget any.
Yep, that's a good thing to do.
Drive shaft loops and helmets.
Yes.
That's what I've been getting questions about. It's drive shaft loops and helmets.
I've been thinking about a drive shaft loop, but technically I won't need it. But
I honestly think everybody should have a helmet on. And if you can put a drive shaft loop on, yes. But if you don't have to and you don't want to, well, don't. But I've seen more slow cars fling drive shafts out than I have fast cars. So
if you're running slicks, you've got to.
yeah, if you run a slick.
Or drag radials.
I believe so. I believe both. Yes.
I've been looking it up. Ronnie's like, drive shaft loop. It's like, technically we don't need it, but for what it would take to put one in, it's just a couple holes and a couple pieces stock or steel stock out here.
Put a $50 bill on the dash to help with tech.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, Deke seems like he's pretty sharp. He's got his nose as a grindstone.
Oh, he don't want nobody getting hurt.
Okay, I was looking for this.
Well, that's his job. So yeah,
I was looking for this for Dizzy. So this will be too far away to read it. So I think I can do this. There was a customer who came in to the gun shop where I used to teach, and he brought in this. He brought in this Smith & Wesson Shield. Right, you can tell it's practically a new pistol. Right.
Right.
And let me zoom in on this. The customer complaint was gun has been fully adjusted to the right and is still shooting low left. That was the customer complaint, and said it needed to go back to Smith and Wesson, right? Well, we knew what it was. He just can't shoot, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I shot it with his sights exactly where he had them, and put a magazine through it at 7 yards freehand. I got that, right?
Right.
I did one, then I chased my spot, put the rest of the magazine, right there.
Right.
Well, he had a supplied target to show why he thought the gun was defective.
Oh,
This
gosh.
is what he did at 7 yards from a bench rest with it.
7 yards.
Whoa!
From a bench rest.
Golly. Did he have Parkinson's or something?
Yes. 7
Holy
yards from a bench. And anyway, that's
Poor
what it
guy.
did before he had the sights. So anyway, they put the sights back and we're pretty convinced the gun is not the problem.
Yeah.
Wow.
I shoot with this hand.
I did.
Steady as a
actually do a
rock.
demo
Yeah, but I
right
shoot with this hand. Poor
Makes
guy.
you wonder how much knowledge he has of firearms if he's shooting like that.
Yeah, but he just needed training. He got a lot better. He actually did some training, got a lot better. But I actually do a demo moving the pistol literally this much to show people that if you move this far and you have good trigger, it'll still be on the paper.
You're still going to the same spot.
It'll
Yeah.
still be on the paper.
Mm-hmm.
And
Looks like that's what that guy was doing.
I don't know what he was doing, but that is off the chain crazy. I mean,
It's
look at
kind of hard to adjust for that.
that. I can't even imagine that's at 7 yards.
7.
I can more accurately throw empty shell casings at the target.
Yeah, I was going to say, we could
I
probably
could hit
throw darts
the
at
same
7
diamond.
yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. I've seen some funny stuff though over the years. One of them was a lady that, and she loved it. And I won't even get her. Her first name is so unique I can't even say it, but she loved to brag about how good a shot she was. That's all she did before class was to tell people how good a shot she was. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm just thinking. She gets on the range, and I'm like, where are you aiming? Because I'm seeing dirt kick up on the backstop. Turns out she thought that you aligned the top of the rear sight with the bottom of the front for this, And she was shooting, just clipping the top of the target eventually.
Wow.
I've just seen some wild stuff.
Well, if she's hitting what she's shooting at, if she's eyeballing it that way, then that's fine if it's consistent. But
I got
or
kinda
just
hard
use
to-
the sights.
I got a
Oh.
racing seat. I just got a text about a racing seat.
Cool.
Yeah.
Just use the sights.
Yeah.
I miss
So-
teaching. I haven't got to do much of it since COVID. That really threw a wrench in things.
Man, it goofed up everything.
Yeah, it did.
And it's still trickling down, and I hate it. But I was one of the first ones to say, yeah, this is going to take a while to get out. Sorry, I saw somebody was doing a raffle on Facebook for a Fox body. That's $107 buy-in for 200 spots. Means that Fox body is $21,400. And they'll get it because it's a big YouTuber channel that I watch.
Dizzy, I don't know. It's a flinch problem. It could be, or it could just be he's just mashing the trigger with reckless abandon and
Just
lobbing the gun at
yeah.
the target. I see a lot of
Right,
that.
right. He's doing that sidearm stuff like the gangsters do, like learn.
You can
like
shoot
said,
that way.
training,
I mean,
training,
you can shoot all gangsta. I mean, it's nothing.
Yeah.
If you
Right.
have a good trigger press, you can do sideways. Won't hurt the shot.
As long as you use your sights properly.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on. It's a matter of the lightning scare you.
Yeah, Dust Devil, sideways, you can do that. I don't choose to, but you can.
Yeah, it is, Brian. It's SRC. You knew who I was. You knew who I was talking about. They're actually building a new shop at their house, and it's going to be freaking nice. They live in Columbus, right at where National Trails is. I don't know if you guys remember when they would run the nationals, they would have to close the road at the end of the track so the fuel cars
Yeah.
could run over the
Yeah.
end,
Yeah,
and they would have a return. Well, that's Refugee Road, and
that's right.
this big, it's Street Racing Channel, and they actually live on Refugee Road down there.
Huh. Cool.
Good people, real good people, and big bracket racer Bill was back in the day, the old man. Now the kids all run the no prep stuff, but yeah, good people. And they've done well on YouTube in the last few years, so it's kind of neat to see those guys that you with back in the day, and now we're like, oh yeah, we've got videos of racing each other.
I'm going to try to get Matt Hagan on my Friday show sometime, because I remember when he ran a slow, like a 770 Nova with a 350
Yeah,
at our local track.
Well, we've got Rob and I think, are probably in the winter time when they're on their off season, but Disco Dean Stinky Pinky from the Street Outlaws, he races at our local track. Well, he did race at our local track. He runs a lot of races now at our local track, and they've actually taken, since the longtime owners passed away and the kids have taken over now, they've kind of stepped it up. We were trying to get them to step it up for years. Like, you need to do weekend races. You need to do these long weekend. No, they'd always just race on Saturday. That was it. They had a round track. They'd race on Friday night. Well, now the racers have stepped in and took over, and they've really made it. It's big. Like we have. Well, Southeast Gaspers were there last weekend. I mean, they've made it a big deal. And Dean and his dad both. They've been really involved in that. So I'm hoping that we can get him on live. This winter when he's off. But those guys are so busy doing the show stuff and traveling, and they have their own business they have to run also, and so it's crazy. But I think we might be able to nail him down this year in the winter time. I saw him a couple of weeks ago at our local restaurant we go to here up the street. I was kind of shooting the crap with him, and I was like, yeah, I do YouTube stuff. I was like, I'd really like. He's like, I really want to get into the YouTube stuff a little bit more. I'm like, well, if he starts his, it'll go bang. Actually, they have a channel already, but they just do short stuff. But it'd be fun to have him on because he's a hilarious guy anyway, and his dad's, Papa Dean's so smart, so smart.
Yeah, Dizzy. I've got Get Better or Die insurance, so I get that.
Medical bills are crazy. Yeah, medical bills are crazy. Medical bills are crazy regardless. You go to the doctor and it's just for maintenance stuff, and it's out of this world.
Wendy went and picked up one of my prescriptions yesterday. Of course, it cost me $0. $945.79. You think for that much they'd just not worry about the 79 cents?
Don, it says date of birth AD. Man.
Yeah. His social security number is 1. Oh, shoot.
The broker I used to work for, his Virginia auctions license number was 5. And there's a guy here in town, his auction license, he's still active. He and his son are auctioneers, and his license number is 3.
Jeez.
And now the auctioneer numbers, I think, are 5 digits now.
Wow.
But he
Yeah.
got his when they first started doing licenses. Some old broker Joe Jones was 5, and Larry Linkus is 3. And I actually looked for 2, and the first 2 aren't living anymore. So he's definitely got the oldest active license. But
You see what Brian said? Oh, shit.
Wendy insists on me getting it.
All right, well, it's 10 o'clock, fellas. All right. She went and picked it up, so yeah, she was ready for it.
Yeah, you just hit the TMI button on Jason there, Don.
Well, he brought it up. Well, anyway.
Anyways,
You can't well anyway your way out of that one.
right.
Brian started it. Brian got the weird hour going.
Yeah, weird hour, right.
Well, anyway,
I was on his live.
I got to go visit Max Wedge Dick Dastardly yesterday.
Yeah, how was that?
Yeah.
I had to go pick up this.
Oh, cool.
Ooh.
Dual
So when I
floor.
put that motor together, when I put that motor together next year, I'm gonna need that second 4-barrel on there.
Yeah,
Are
man.
you going to adapt it?
Hold on. That's pretty cool. Yeah, to the 1-barrel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd adapt it right now, but they said at different heights it would sit cocked like this.
That's okay.
I got the Metalbrock triangle air cleaners on them now. It looks. I like the look of those. For $50 a piece, I'm glad. But yep, we're coming, John. Shake your head so I know you didn't freeze, John.
No, I didn't freeze.
Oh, okay. I
If
thought
Rob
I
has
thought I was a Lone Ranger there for a second.
Rob has a OG Moon Eyes velocity stack that his father-in-law gave him off of his old Mopar race car. I was like, well, I guess I'm going to cut a hole in the hood of the truck. So
the part I like is I'm pretty sure it'll still fit under the hood. So
yeah, that's a pretty cool looking piece though. It kind of remind me of like a Chevy Mustang, air cleaner or something like that. Nice long flat oval.
Well, he was at a buddy's house up the road here. He's like, oh yeah, we're just up here by Lock Haven, which is 30 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
Renova is the next town over, another 28 miles. By the time I did the map and everything to hit the road, it's like 66 miles. It was raining. It was shit weather yesterday, off and on thunderstorm shit.
Yeah.
It's like I might as well road trip. It was a nice drive. But his buddy...
It's raining here now again.
Shane got up there, and his buddy has I think it's a 76 Volare. I forget what motor's in that. But he's got 2 drag cars, 76 Volare and 63 Plymouth Savoy, Max Wedge.
That's cool. He needs his subs.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
He needs his subscribers. Can we just throw down and do a benefit for Max Wedge, Dick Dastardly, Rich Resnick to get him his subscribers?
I've been putting him out on Facebook, but I don't have a whole lot of friends.
Yeah, we need to do that.
I try putting them up on these groups, and it's like, you can't post that here. It's like, screw you then. Everybody's out for themselves. And
Did you put it in my group? You can put it in my group and Battery's group. We don't care.
Yeah, he's a really cool dude. I was up there probably about 2 hours visiting.
Unfinished project, as cool as his stuff is, content would just get it for him.
Mm-hmm.
There's a guy that hangs around the YouTube automotive community, but he doesn't do any car stuff. Spencer's Food Reviews and Drink Chugs. You ever recognize that name? Yeah. Believe it or not, I'm a mod on Spencer's channel.
Yep.
The dude has a channel.
Yep.
His channel's the same size as mine, and all he does is chug Mountain Dew and hang out in front of the TV watching baseball. That's all he does. But He's always putting out content. His channel's the same size as
Yep.
mine. And that's all he does. It's
He'll even have lives and do chugs.
Yeah.
nothing. Lives about nothing, but he'll chug a Mountain Dew, and
Yep.
it really doesn't take a lot to get subscribers, but you got to mix and mingle in the community. That's what it's about.
It doesn't.
This is not a race that's about the race that people go to see the car, to see what it ran and who beat who by who in the finals. That's not what it's about. That's why don't worry about the car. Worry about mixing and mingling with the community and showing us who you are. That's what we care about. The car thing takes care of itself.
Yep.
Yeah, that's just a plus.
Yeah.
It's the people.
Back Motor Mike. Corvair funny car. He is stalled out at like 250 subs. Come on, man. We want to see a Corvair funny car. But you won't put out content of it? It's just like there's all kinds of cool cars, but we want people who want to engage in the community.
I love watching every video of that thing. Like,
yeah.
That's like an old school match race car. Like, it's just so cool. Yeah.
There's a lot of cool cars. People don't. I get it. I mean, there's all kinds of cars you could have there. But the thing is, it's not about the car count. It's about our community. And you got to want to be a part of the community.
Well, the diversity of the cars that's going to be there is a big part of it for me.
Sure.
I mean, Big Mike on this 31 Plymouth, it's like, man, I get up in the mornings, I watch him with my coffee, and I watch his day count, which is lower than the 35 behind you, John.
Yep.
So
yeah, he's ready to go, right?
But
I talked to Mike today.
He's the master of hoopty.
Yeah, it's we got 24 more no-name 500 guys this year. We'll be. We just got more and more people eligible, more and more people know about it. I can't wait till Unfinished Project can make it. I really want him to be able to make it. I asked Unfinished Project, I said, if I do a drag and drive, you want to be a crewman? He said, yep. Okay.
There you go.
Unfinished Project, I'm serious. I might do a drag and drive sometime. I'm looking to you to crew.
Always looking for good crew.
We should do a drag and drive. I would do a drag and drive with you for sure. I'm trying to see.
I got to tell you, the expense with that is astronomical. I mean, there's so many reasons why I drag.
Oh, I know.
Plus, too, there's like 20 of them going on, and it's just.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to go do somebody else's drag and drive. But trying to have all these tracks with hardly any spectators and all that rental and prep and all, it's like the hardest part of the event times a bunch without any of the benefit that comes with it, or at least spread out over all of them. To me, that just makes it so much harder. And plus, people have to take a week off to do it, and you're going to trade a lot of the people who want to have a fun weekend for the more hardcore people to do a week. And it takes more budget to do it, and it's a whole different deal. Believe me, we thought about it, but there's a lot of reasons why I like doing
there's a lot
what we do on the weekend. Yeah.
Well, because you'd have to be either
Unfinished Project says I'll be there. All right.
You'd have to like 7 tracks, you know.
I could do that part. That's doable. But it's just everybody else is doing them. I don't need to do what anybody else is doing. Unfinished Project says I'll be there. I'll tell you what, this fall, probably in November or December, I'll be building an A500 with a brake. So that's a whole lot of your drag and drive right there.
Heck yeah.
See what crew.
All right, guys. It's time for me to get off here and go to bed, unfortunately.
Oh, it's already Thursday.
I know.
We've burnt Jason's house down, Don.
No, it's fine. I appreciate it.
It's been fun. I haven't gotten.
I'm 10 minutes past my closing time.
this year.
Yeah. Well, you've been busy, so
So you on par for what you was wanting to be this time of year, John?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just want to see all of you guys. Really, that's what I care about.
It's a big family reunion.
If it's safe, fun, and pays for itself, I'm happy. That's really all I can ask for. Anything else is
right, yeah.
You know, you're looking to retire off this event.
I
Long
could
way
live
from
under a nicer bridge, maybe.
Yeah, down by the river in my van.
Windfall coming
Man.
on. But I won't tie Jason up. I appreciate you letting me crash your live, man. It's been a lot of fun.
Anytime, John. Take care, buddy. I'll see you soon.
Thank you, guys. Y'all take
Have
care.
a good night. Yep,
Yep, nice seeing you, John. Oh, he's out.
he's out. And then there were two.
Yeah.
Don, I appreciate you stopping by, but
Well, Thursdays wouldn't be the same without me.
I know. That's right. That's it. So, have a good night, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. Everybody in the chat. Don, John, appreciate y'all.
I'm sure we'll see everybody
Christopher,
tomorrow night over on John's.
Oh, yeah.
John's live tomorrow is going to be a big one, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
He usually has quite the crowd anyway over there. Usually he's
he
got 40, 45, 50.
Yep. I think we got up to about 20 as usual, so we're good. But
Yeah.
Anyway, everybody have a good night. I appreciate it. We'll do this again next week. We out.
Waves
Take it
by
easy,
the
son.
crowd.
There you go.